Well, hello there. Yes, I know it's been a while, and yes, I know it's another Winx Club video, but the people love these, and I enjoy making these, so, you know. That all said, I do have a little announcement that I wanted to mention in this video. If you've been with me for a while, then you know that I chronically suffer from being a writer, and I've been working on a book for a long while now, which I've been shamelessly teasing. Welp, she's done, and she's going to be releasing in fall. I'll be dropping a new video August 25th all about the writing and self-publishing process, in which I'll also be revealing my book cover, giving story details, and revealing the release date along with pre-order information. So jot that date down somewhere and be sure to check back in then for all the latest updates. Oh, I'm so excited, oh my god. Anyhow, back to the content. Today we're going to be ranking the seasons of Winx Club from worst to best. And since y'all already know what I consider to be the worst season, let's just get this party started, shall we? How fitting that I'm recording this while I have a headache and I'm about to talk about the season that gives me the most headaches. No one is surprised by this. I mean, there's a whole video breaking down in detail why season 6 is the absolute worst, but I will summarize. The premiere, or rather, when I'm counting as the actual beginning of Selena and the Legendarium story, does a poor job setting up the rest of the season and establishing conflict. The finale is likewise lackluster and anticlimactic, and everything in the middle is either a mind-numbing MacGuffin quest or pure, unadulterated filler. This season relies mostly on vapid MacGuffins that mean nothing to what little story there is, the connection between Bloom and Selena rings hollow, and all the nostalgia bait is painfully shallow. What could have been an interesting new story to celebrate the franchise's 10th anniversary wound up being the season most of the older fans can't stand, and honestly, the younger fans deserve something better than whatever this is. On top of this, it also features both the worst transformation of the series, along with the most disappointing one. Mythics is underwhelming on every front. Poor, bland designs, save for the wings, hideous sequences, lackluster spells, and overall a waste of time. Bloomix, meanwhile, could have been the next Enchantix, the next transformation to become a fan favorite. Instead, the gorgeous designs were accompanied by a mediocre song, generic spells, and goddamn backflips. No, I'm never getting over that. Not to mention the divine power of the dragon flame can apparently be defeated by a bird. So great.
I'm losing to a bird!
So overall, yeah, Tix is the worst. But we all knew that already, so moving on. Season 7 was originally meant to be co-produced with Nickelodeon, but due to budgetary reasons, that was abandoned. And thank God, because it meant losing that hideous CGI from seasons 5 and 6, which would have been used for the mini-worlds otherwise. And honestly, the mini-world aesthetics and some of the other ideas present here kept this from overtaking season 6 as the worst season. This is probably the most kidified season of the show, at least in terms of story and writing. Season 7 is built all around the theme of protecting animals and the environment, which is great, but unfortunately that didn't also come with a solid story that actually explored those themes in any engaging way. Most of the season is spent with the Winx just wandering around looking for something to do, usually misadventures to do with fairy animals gone cray-cray from wild magic, and most of the time it had nothing to do with the villains, Kalshara and Brafilius, who were incredibly underwhelming, lacking in presence, and in Brafilius' case, more irritating than all of Twitter. Actually, no, Twitter is still the worst. Close though. Season 7 is only barely saved by the cool designs of the fairy animals, their endearing dynamics with the Winx, and ideas like the mini-worlds. Even the finale, while kinda insane, especially with that whack-ass Infinity Swan, was still relatively captivating, especially compared to other finales. So, 7's biggest crime is just being a bore. It's not actively terrible like 6, but the negatives far outweigh the positives, unfortunately. Season 8 seems to be the most controversial season among Winx fans, largely because it serves as a soft reboot to confirm the show being rebranded for a younger audience than even the first few seasons. For what it's worth, the story is surprisingly solid, even with the Prime Star MacGuffin hunt in the second half, with the Tricks returning for the umpteenth time. Even the Tricks themselves wind up being the stars of the show. Oh god, is that a pun?
God damn it, Bart!
With Icy getting a weirdly decent backstory, even if it does include discount Queen Beryl. That all said, this season also has plenty of problems, from more Musa and Riven drama, Diospro being made a petty, annoying villain yet again, along with whitewashing and stolen character designs. Good lord, Rainbow, good lord. So for that nonsense, season 8 is, not good. Still, the story is solid enough to where it is above season 7, so congrats, season 8. You're barely a step above Infinity Swan. Season 5 marked a new era for Winx Club, where Rainbow partnered with Nickelodeon to co-produce the show and properly introduce it to English-speaking regions. Now, I've talked before at length about why this effort failed, but in all honesty, Season 5 isn't actually all that bad. Especially compared to Season 6 through 8, Season 5 is frighteningly refreshing. This season's biggest crime is how formulaic and boring it can be, especially in the second half with the recurring plot of Tritanus stealing the seals of the Infinite Ocean's pillars. Tritanus can also be rather irritating. His forced romance with Icy is a bit of a mixed bag. At times I find it endearing, and others I'm left wondering why it exists. And let's be real, Harmonix is so much better than Sirenix, there's just no arguing it. Not to mention Roxy's absence, the weird Sky Amnesia plot followed by more Diospro shenanigans, and Bloom stealing the spotlight for the finale when it should have been Aisha's moment. Oh wow, a lot more negatives than I thought I would be mentioning. But all that aside, and there's a lot to cast aside, Season 5 has plenty of positive elements to balance that out. For one thing, as odd as the Flash animation and CGI can be, most of the designs tend to make up for it, especially the diverse oceans of the magical universe we see in the first half. Likewise, Harmonix and Sirenix both have plenty of strengths that, while they don't match up to Enchantix, let them both still bring enough to the table to have become fan favorite transformations. So Season 5 is fine. It's nothing special, but it's still a pleasant watch that has just enough going for it where I don't mind revisiting it from time to time. May we all remember this as the last truly decent Winx Club season. Season 4 tried to do what most animated series avoid like the plague, letting its characters grow up. Following the Winx graduating from Althea in the first movie, Season 4 follows the girls beginning a mission to bring magic back to Earth, find, protect, and mentor its last fairy, and discover that adulting is hard. That all said, Season 4 is probably the weakest of the original 4, stumbling as it tries to tackle themes and storylines it's not really equipped to handle in depth. The first half is bagged down by petty romantic squabbles and miscommunications, which we should be past at this point, especially when it comes to Musa and Riven's toxic relationship. On top of that, all the issues the Winx deal with, including finding a place to live, opening a small business, and figuring out what they want to do with their lives, well, everything seems to go super well for them. Too well, honestly. Insert all too well joke here.
And I might be okay, but I'm not fine at all.
I understand this wasn't the main plot of the season, but so many young adults struggle navigating life early on, not only because we weren't prepared for the capitalist hellscape we live in, but also because of so many external factors out of our control that we often get blamed for. But the Winx's business has only like 5 minutes of real struggle before it takes off and becomes wildly successful, with no real consequences afterwards from the pressure to scale the business. Wait, hold up. This is an adoption place, right? Wait, so if pets don't cost anything to adopt, how do they make their income? Is it like donations? Did they set this business up legally? Like, does it have a tax ID? These are the questions I ask. Along with that, the Winx don't seem to question why they're all still together. Normally at this stage, people start drifting apart as they pursue their own goals, which is perfectly normal. But from the very start of Season 4, the Winx are almost cemented together, no question. They're offered teaching positions at Althea in the most fanficky way possible, and they never seem to wonder what else they could be doing while they're dedicated to their mission in Gardenia. We get kind of close with Musa pursuing a music career, but it's not really explored in any meaningful way. The villains are also bland. I've talked about this in my villains video before, so I won't harp on it again. But the reason it especially bothers me is because villains are a great way to challenge your characters and put a light on their problems. If the fairy hunters, or even the fairies of vengeance, focused on the Winx' struggles as young adults, season 4 could have been taken to a whole other level. Not to mention the issue of Naboo's death. Mentioned it before, but a lot of people read Naboo as Indian coded. He's the only dark-skinned man in the cast, and he and Aisha are both the only characters with dark enough skin to be read as black in the cast, and the only dark-skinned couple. So to have Naboo wind up dying only a season after his introduction, offer hollow shock value because he and Aisha are happy? It's gross. It's just gross. It didn't need to happen. You want a death that means something? Kill Sky. Kill him. Kill him right now. So season 4 is rife with problems, but I also still consider it my favorite for what it could have been. The season that started it all. Season 1 is rather simple. Local Ginger discovers she has magic, goes to magic school, commits breaking and entering several times, and even assaults a noblewoman in front of a crowd while facing no consequences, and learning the truth of her origins and her own power. We've seen it plenty of times, maybe not the assault part, but you know. But Winx has enough unique elements of its own to help it stand apart from its contemporaries and help it get off the ground. Certain things have not aged all that well, such as some of the stiff animation and the entirety of the Miss Magics episode. Holy shit, that episode was a mistake. But season 1 also has plenty of positives that makes it a charming, relaxing watch. Not to mention, goddamn, this season has the best fights, and they're surprisingly brutal, especially in the final 8 episodes with the all-out war the tricks begin. Unfortunately, along with all these issues mentioned earlier, the other Winx don't really get much time to shine, especially Musa and Tecna. Thankfully, they have enough to work with to make them endearing, and they definitely do get more attention in season 2, but season 1 is mostly focused on Bloom, which, honestly, this is the only place in the whole series where it makes sense, so it's fine, I guess. This is the most underrated season of Winx Club, easily. It's incredibly character-driven, giving all the characters a moment in the spotlight. Not only characters from season 1 you wanted to see more of, but a whole new cast of characters. And somehow, season 2 balances them all perfectly. First of all, Aisha is a queen. Oh my god, she quickly became one of my all-time favorite characters. And now I think my second favorite Winx, right behind Musa. Aisha's loneliness and struggle for connection makes her incredibly relatable, and her dynamics with the other Winx, the rocky ones included, make it impossible to imagine the group without her. Legit, watching season 1, it feels wrong not having Aisha present. Not to mention episodes focused not only on the big dumb plot with Lord Darkar, but also some filler episodes that we all remember fondly. Who could forget the Hollow Winx episode with the terrifying 4 sisters from hell, or the episode all about Musa's turbulent relationship with her father over her mother's death? I wish we got more of these stories in recent seasons, because it's things like these that brought the show to the higher level that we all recount as the golden era. As underrated as season 2 is, season 3 is still the best overall. Look, I don't make the rules. Season 3 just hits the ground running, testing the Winx as Valtor wreaks havoc across the magical universe and throwing almost all of their lives into chaos. Not just Bloom, but also Stella, Aisha, and Tecna. And even Flora and Musa get some serious moments, which is guaranteed by something we'll discuss in a bit. I've talked about Valtor in my villains video, again, link in cards and description, but he really does serve as a great excuse for life to throw everything at the girls. We leave the safety of Althea to explore the diverse worlds of the magical universe as they're put into danger. And even Althea is at risk with Valtor on the rise. It's the highest the stakes have ever been through the entire series, minus the Army of Darkness plot, and it's perfect for the Winx's coming-of-age story. Not to mention, it features the best transformation from the whole franchise. Enchantix. Not only does it have incredible spells, a bomb-ass song, beautiful sequences, and gorgeous designs, but the way that the girls earn it truly tests them as people. They have to prove that they're worthy of this great power, and the glow-up confirms them transitioning into adulthood as guardians of their worlds. Plus, they found a way to make Bloom's incomplete, to keep her from getting everything that she wants, which we love to see that. So, yeah, there you have it. The seasons of Winx Club from worst to best, and unsurprisingly, the earlier seasons dominated the list. What a shock. And just a reminder before y'all go, that video all about my book drops on August 25th, so be sure to check back for it. Oh my god, it's so close. Anyhow, if you enjoyed this video, then be sure to subscribe and ring that bell for notifications because YouTube hates creators. Also, if you're willing and able, you can pledge your support for myself and the channel over on Patreon. I'm the Unicorn of War, and this franchise is a shit show, oh my god.